There's a lot of people who are very emotionally connected to their weapons for a variety of reasons. And I don't criticize them. I own a Colt Python from when I was a cop back in the 70s, and I don't carry it because I don't want to risk having it stolen or damaged or something like that. We actually, when we started it off, we thought we were going to need a warehouse, a secure warehouse. We thought we were going to be so busy picking up firearms all over the metro area. We take good care of people's weapons while they're here, and hopefully, when things get cleared up, we're able to give them back.
You're taking away guns without due process. You're taking away rural Colorado's way of life.
This bill is about saving lives by taking firearms out of the hands of people who are endangering to themselves or others. Period. End of discussion.
This is not about grabbing anyone's guns. This is truly about saving lives and protecting our community.
We have 22, I think, at this time, and possibly more, counties in open rebellion, and rightfully so.
When there gets to be too many predators, whether they're two-legged or four-legged, people in the West still need to have a way to take care of their property. Please vote no.
The so-called red flag bill passed out of the House for a final time today, now heading to the governor's desk for his approval. It allows courts to remove a person's firearms temporarily if they're deemed a safety threat to themselves or others.
As mass shootings continue to claim lives, several states are passing red flag laws, the latest being Colorado.
Colorado is divided, with about half of the counties saying they won't enforce the orders, including Weld County Sheriff promising he'd go to jail first.
When this law was kind of working through the legislature, a lot of the different sheriffs around the state talked about how would we interact with this law if it were ultimately passed. And I said, well, you know, everybody's got to make their own decision, but in my community, I don't think that I can enforce this law and not be in violation of my oath of office. And at that time, there had been some talk in other parts of the state and around the country about this concept of Second Amendment sanctuary. It's probably somewhat of an inflammatory word to some people, that term being used to say that, hey, you shouldn't enforce immigration laws. But it's also a way of using the same language, but for a different purpose.
Keyhole would be if the bullet round going through keyhole goes like that. It's tumbling.
It's a keyhole.
Hits like that.
That makes perfect sense.
In the scope, those look like keyholes, but what it is it's so much pressure, so much energy, it ripped the paper.
Yeah.
I'm Mike Morris, owner and operator of Warriors Revolution Tactical. We're a gun store in Longmont, Colorado. We specialize in tactical gear, and tactical firearms, and ammunition. I did co-found with Mitch Nurum, 3% United Patriots, which is a large patriot organization across the U.S. We're looking for a restoration to what we believe the original intent of the Founding Fathers were for this nation. I think that red flag is ridiculous, and I think it's only set up to be abused, and that the laws exist already on the books today that will handle all of the things that they claim that red flag is going to do. And I think you see that a lot with a lot of gun control laws, that they're pushed out as we're winning this battle against guns. I believe the ultimate goal of the anti-gunners and the red flag supporters is a 100% confiscation of firearms. And a population without means to defend itself is much easier to control.
Many of you know I'm a survivor of domestic violence. I remember clear as day, I had friends come over to my house, and I wasn't allowed to have friends. That was one of the rules. And he had found out about it. He pulled the gun and held it to his head. As I was trying to talk him down, he cocked the gun and held it to my forehead. I closed my eyes and I prayed, and I heard a click. I'm here today because that gun jammed. That's the only reason I'm here today. So we could debate this bill, and we can continue debating this bill. But tomorrow morning, I need to be able to look myself in the mirror and make sure this doesn't happen again to even one more person like me. Thank you.
I'm State Representative Danae Esgar, and I serve Pueblo County. We're progressive in some ways, but I think it comes back to that whole idealism around what Colorado is and who a Coloradan is, and part of that is our guns. Things that I've carried with me my entire life and I've gone through and survived from and healed from, I never expected to come back to the forefront in this way. We've been way too quiet for way too long when it comes to standing up for domestic violence survivors, and giving them a tool to keep them safe is absolutely something we need to talk about.
The real problem is just the way in which the Constitution is construed. The U.S. Constitution is construed in the use of a red flag law, and that's that there's just a lot of places in the law where it can be misused or abused in a way that could absolutely negatively impact someone. The list of what qualifies as a household member is pretty broad, so broad that I've had an inmate in my jail attempt to file a red flag petition against me 3 times in the last probably 6 months.
I'm Sandy Anderson, and I'm here today to bring focus to the epidemic of gun violence in America, particularly of late. And I'm a mother of adult biracial sons who have been victimized by gun aggression from police. Have actually had guns pointed at them. And I'm sorry, I'm emotional. So as a mother of adult biracial men who are seen by society as black men and who are constantly, from the time they were little boys, have been targeted, I just couldn't stand by and not do anything. So about 5 years ago, I joined Moms Demand Action, hoping to make the tiniest difference in gun legislation, common sense gun legislation. And I do it for my kids, I do it for my nieces and nephews, I do it for my new granddaughter who will have to face this.
I think when you're talking about the term sanctuary, especially when it relates to survivors of domestic violence, it's seeking somewhere of safety, somewhere of comfort, somewhere where you know that harm will not be done to you. And to use this term to simply say we're not going to listen to that law is exactly, to me, the opposite of what sanctuary means. When you think of the word sanctuary, I think of safe.